Hello, everyone. Hope you are well on a Tuesday. I've been reluctant to cover the Russia Ukraine thing very much lately because, and I've talked about it in the past, but a lot of people are talking Russia about it. It's in the news. Russia, Ukraine, Russia, whatever, this and that. But I am right now because it does seem to be taking on more of a crisis situation. Following the news or some of the things I'm hearing and reading today, earlier, uh, reports are coming out from several sources saying that Russia is in a position or Russia ready to launch an attack, quote unquote, at any time now uh, into Ukraine. Now, the tensions have been slowly rising between the two sides over the last months, really, been a while now. And they have a history of that lately. So the White House came out today and said that Russia could launch an attack, quote unquote, at any point. The United States warned of severe consequences if Russia invades the former Soviet republic, that is Ukraine. There was, I guess, during her daily press conference, the White House press secretary said, quote unquote, no option is off the table in a response if Russia goes into Ukraine. So apparently, Russia is in a readiness phase right now to be able to do this. They've massed tens of thousands of troops at the border, along with a lot of equipment, hardware, you name it. So there's also reports stating that some Russian forces are already inside parts of Ukraine, and the fear is they will produce a quote unquote false flag event that would be then used as a pretext to invade Ukraine. So to make it create a diversion or something to make it look like that Russia's been attacked, the Russian forces have been attacked, and then use that as a pretext to go ahead and go all in. So that is the thought as well. So tensions, needless to say, are on an all-time high right now. It looks like diplomatic efforts between the West and Russia have really not gone anywhere lately, and that's failed so far. So you got tens of thousands of troops massed, a lot of gear at the border, and a lot of people will say, well, they can do that because they're within their borders. Well, yeah, I guess you can do that. However, I'm trying to look at this in a balanced way. If my next door neighbor, all the members of his family, maybe a few friends too, stand right at the line or property line between us. They could be technically in their property, but right at the line where it crosses into my property. And if they stand there for days on end with a provocative posture, making threats and have weapons on them, it's going to get my attention. And I'm going to be ready. I'm going to be in a defensive posture, and I'm going to make preparations to do that very quickly. And then I'm going to go out and have a frank conversation with them as well. Right? And I'm going to see what's going on, but I'm going to be ready to defend the dogstead by any means necessary, any means. So, and by the same token, if the United States massed tens of thousands of troops at the Mexican border with mechanized divisions, air power to support it, artillery in the back, do you not think the Mexican government would be on alert? Well, yeah, they would be. They should be. Uh, so that's what we have, simplified version of that. But so what do we need to be ready for? Well, you need to be ready because if this happens, if they go in, the United States hasn't said exactly what it would do so far. I know they say all options, no options off the table, but the thought is that they would just do severe economic sanctions on Russia. Uh, what do we need to be ready for? If it turns into a hot conflict, a kinetic conflict between them and the West, between Russia and the West, this would not be your grandfather's war. This would be something that could probably be felt on United States or North American soil in one way or another. Now, I'm not talking about Red Dawn, where they're paratrooping in in the on American soil and gunning down police and gunning down schoolhouses. Now, no, not likely. But cyber attacks, yes. Uh, Power, internet, communications, banking, transportation could all be affected. If they attack the right spots, and I'm sure they've been probing for years. Can you imagine no power, no heating, no communications, internet, no way to get cash out, do banking, do transactions for months, for weeks on end? Can you picture that? Yeah, I mean, that would be ugly. Uh, what do we need to do? How can you be ready for something like that? Even a cyber attack, a massive attack like that. Uh, Keep some cash on hand for sure. I mean, gasoline, you can't store a whole lot, but I mean, keep your vehicles full and maybe store what you can. Um, any alternative heating and power sources you may have, if you have solar or whatever you have, do everything we can to be ready, self-sufficient as possible, you know. But can you imagine? I mean, look how our power, look how our grocery stores look right now. If everything stopped, transportation, goods delivered to the stores, the stores would be empty within 24 hours or less. They're already they're on the ropes right now, the way it looks in a lot of places. Not everywhere, but in a lot of places in the country. But if the trucks stop rolling, or even were severely curtailed, we'd have a big problem quickly. So, and then you start having to look out. Then you may have to start looking out for the neighbors or watching them, at least. You know what I mean? So keep stacking, keep preparing what we can. Food preservation. Don't waste stuff if you can help it. Don't throw away food. See if you can preserve it somehow. Save what we can and look at what you're throwing away. How can you use it? How can we repurpose things? Okay. Remember, Jesus is still king. He's on the throne. He's in charge. The Lord our God ultimately is our charge. Ultimately, we are citizens of Christ. In the end, we are, right? So be ready for that anytime. I'm ready. So let me know your thoughts on this, of course. I know you will. But keep being aware. We'll keep an eye on this story right now, and stay safe. Be aware. God bless you, and I will see you soon.